Hey crafty friend, it's Justine. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the products from the new wax seal collection, which is called Sealed for Christmas. So there's some fun ones in here. Let's start with the three embossing folders. There's one 2D one, which is the SES 0-54. So that one is called like Deco Holiday. And then we have the Evergreen one, which is a 3D embossing folder, which gives kind of a bigger impact. And then there's this one, which is my favorite, which is the Notched Corner Florals, which to me could pass for not Christmas as well as Christmas. So this is a fun one. I recently did a poll on my Facebook group, Spellbinders Maker Group, and I was curious to know, do people like 3D embossing folders or regular embossing folders? From that poll, 85% of the people preferred the 3D to the regular embossing, but you know, to me, I like both. I definitely tend to use the 3D embossing folders more because I love the dimension, but there's something for everyone. So there's a die set as well that's called the Popular Sentiments, and it really is full of popular sentiments like birthday, happy wishes, thank you, for you, note for you, just for you. So you can kind of play around with the different versions of those and get some cute sentiments. And then there's this one, which is the Sealed Christmas Sprigs. It is super cute, and I'm going to be using it on some cards here today. It's a popular one in my craft room so far. And then there's also this Glimmer plate, which is the Glimmer Monoline Stars, which is super cool. There's an embossing folder that has the same design that is from the Dancing Christmas collection, and I did definitely use that a lot, as well as a bunch of different wax seals. So I will pop those on the screen here as I kind of start talking and working. But of all of the wax seals, this Joy one was my absolute favorite. Look at that. Do not mind the marker on my hand. Sorry. There we go. That Joy is so pretty. It's big. Look at that compared to my hand. Compared to a regular wax seal like that, it's a square one, which it ends up being kind of like a little mushed circle at the end, but it's a square wax seal and it is so pretty. I love it. And when I put the metallic paint on it, I just was obsessed. So yes, this video is all about the wax sealed parts of the cards, but I will not be doing any wax sealing here today. I have done a lot of wax sealing on my channel, so make sure to check out the playlist I have that's called Wax Sealing or Wax Sealed Cards, and you can see like how-tos or different design ideas. I have something kind of for everybody there. But for this card, I'm going to pop on my wax seal right about here, and then I have my little Merry Christmas banner that goes there, and then I plan to put my poinsettias kind of here and here. So before I get too ahead of myself, my sentiment strip here is Glimmered that says Merry Christmas. How pretty! And that is from a Glimmer set. I will link that in the description for this card, but it's a set that I keep going back to because I have already glimmered a whole bunch of those already, and it just makes my heart happy to use what I have, and I love black and gold, so that is a perfect combo. To add on my wax seal, I like to just use liquid glue. You can buy the little stickers if you want, and you can add your wax seals on that way, but I kind of prefer just some classic liquid glue because it's already on my desk and I have it out. So let's just use it. I don't know why all of a sudden I started talking like that, so maybe it's just me slowly going a little bit crazy after a full week of kindergarten. Who knows? Anyway, these little poinsettia flowers here are from the Sealed for Christmas poinsettia die. So that fits on nicely, and it looks like it went with my background, which my background is a BetterPress image. If you don't know about BetterPress, you got to know about it because it's stunning, if you will, and it just gives a really cool look. I colored that up, and now I have this really fun background for my wax seal and die cuts to land on. This BetterPress plate is from the new collection that just came out for the BetterPress plates, so I will link that in the description. I will also have a whole video tomorrow with some more BetterPress Christmassy cards. So if you're interested, come on back tomorrow and you will be able to see that. Now this die is one of my favorites. It's a nesting die. I will have this linked in the description as well, but I just love the shape of it. I think it's super kind of girly and fun, and I just love using it. It's new to my collection. I picked this up with the buy one get one free, and I really should have done a haul, but I ended up just diving into it and just working on other stuff, so I didn't do a haul, but I love watching those. I'm so nosy. I want to know what people buy. So if you're looking for a haul video, Melanie Smith did a haul video, so I will link that on this video so you can see there. But the little edge pieces here that I just put on are the sealed twine, which is part of the original wax seal collection from Spellbinders, and I love that die. I use it all the time for wax seals. You're going to see it a few more times here today, but it is just kind of a staple in my opinion. If you're a wax sealer, you need this die. Speaking of Melanie, she's one of my very good crafty friends. Her and I just started a Facebook group called BetterPress Babes, and if you're a BetterPress babe, go ahead and join that, and you can see all sorts of inspiration there, and I will link Melanie's channel in the description as well as our BetterPress Babes page. If you're looking at my hands and going, what in the world, do you have a bruise? No, it is ink. I have Sharpie here, I have ink here, I have glue everywhere. I've been making cards this morning, and I'm just getting messy, just being frank with you. And that's just the way it's going to be. Okay, yes, could I have added glue here and just stuck it on like a normal person? Probably. But sometimes my brain says, let's make it complicated. This was one of those times. Okay. Anyway, if you haven't checked out Melanie on YouTube yet, you're going to want to. Melanie is a really good card maker, and she is my good friend, so definitely check her out. And if you haven't watched her BetterPress video with her special guest, Santa, you're going to want to. It is probably my favorite video on YouTube. It is so cute, and it's very informational as well. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to. I will link Melanie's channel in the description of this, and after I link her channel, I will link that video. So I'm just going to go ahead and write myself a note right now. So this joy, I mixed a whole bunch of different wax colors in there, and I just kind of did what they call in the acrylic world, in the acrylic paint world, a dirty pour, which means I just poured it in, or poured it right onto my silicone mat without mixing anything. And if you look closely, you can see, maybe I'll have to take pictures of this one and show you up close, but it has all these kind of funky swirls, and it just is kind of a fun look. And with this glimmered background, I used the Aura, which is, no, I did not. I used the silver one from the Christmas collection, Christmas pack. It is Prism. So that's this one. I love the background. And because I love it so much and I love the joy, I'm not going to add anything else to this card. I think it is gorgeous as is. We'll move on to the next one. I added some really pretty glimmer foil on there. This was again from that pack. It was the gold version here, which is called Crimson Stars is this one. Emerald Facets is this one, which means Starburst must be this one. Of course, look at those beautiful stars. And I put that with the glimmer plate here and made a really fun background. Then for this, I used the Notch Corner Frame die set, which is again a nesting die set. I cut out my little piece here and then I popped that into my 3D embossing folder with the notched corners, and you can see it does line up with that very nicely. And this is going to be my resting place for my wax and such. So we are going to go ahead and build up my little scene here, or my little bundle, if you will, from the center out. I'm just going to put a pretty thick layer of glue there so we can start popping some of these on. I'm going to start with the kind of green pieces and then put the florals on top so they are not hiding underneath. Spellbinders always thinks of like everything for their dies. I think that it's so clever that they had these little sprigs going one direction and the other going the other direction, just to give it a little bit more of a oomph and specialness to their card, to their dies. I just love Spellbinders. Totally obsessed. I also have been loving Crafty Critta lately. If you haven't checked out Crafty Critta, make sure that you do. I will link their URL in the description, but they are just craftycritta.com. They are out of Australia. Again, small business. We love a small business. And they have excellent customer service. When I got my package from them, it took less than a week to come from Australia all the way across the world to Minnesota. So I was just kind of shocked at that, because I've ordered from other companies in the US and had to wait like 2 weeks to get my products. And it maybe is coming from a state or two away, or, you know, not very far, but around the world, and it's less than a week. Unbelievable. So they're really fabulous, and their products are so cool. Tracy Fear, who is not afraid of color, she is on YouTube, and you probably know her. She's fabulous. Her and Nancy Stamps work together quite often, and they have a really fun thing called Stamp Wars. If you've never checked that out, you're going to want to. I was a mystery guest for Stamp Wars when Tracy was hosting, and Crafty Critta was the mystery sponsor, if you will, and they together, Tracy, who is not afraid of color, and Crafty Critta designed a coffee collection and like a groovy hippie kind of style collection, and I got to work with both of those collections on Stamp Wars. So if you haven't checked that out, please check it out. I will link Tracy's channel, Nancy Stamps YouTube channel, and I will also link Stamp Wars 31, which is when I was on Stamp Wars, and then I will also link Crafty Critta in the description. A lot of links for you to check out today, but hopefully that's all right. Okay, I'm going to show you how to glue on the twine like a normal person, because you're probably normal if you're watching this. Normal is a relative term, of course, you know. Anyway, we're just going to pop these on the back like so. I love when Spellbinders does this with their dies and gives us a big spot to glue. Sometimes for some of the small floral pieces, they'll give us a big circle to glue on, and I just find that so interesting and helpful that they would think about that, and they really do have like the crafter in mind when they are designing their stuff. Wow, that is so cute, but it's going to look even cuter with this wax seal on top. So let's just pop this whole panel on before I get my wax seal on there. The wax is a little heavy, so I don't want it to flop off when I'm gluing here, and my gold mirror cardstock is slippery, so it might fall. But if I wait like I am now, it'll be fine. Oh, that is so pretty. Wow. This is a wow card. I kind of have that feeling sometimes when I look at some of my cards. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's nice. It's pretty. Some of them are wow cards. And if you know, you know. I'm just going to squish that down and then pop on my Joy. We'll let it dry. For those of you who are not familiar with the wax seal, it isn't actually wax on there. You're not going to be able to like light a candle, or it isn't actually a wax. I don't know what they make it out of. I'm assuming some kind of a plastic. I don't know, but it's not going to like get wax all over your craft room, and it is super fun and relaxing to do. Here is a Merry Christmas wax seal, and I'm just going to simply pop that on. And this is one of my BetterPress pictures, this little robin. At least I colored it to look kind of like a robin anyway. And robin, I painted this robin, but I suppose you could paint this bird to be any color. I guess a robin is kind of more like a spring bird, at least it is here in Minnesota. So I'm not sure where I was going with that, but robin it is. I'll pop on this gold paint pen to make this stamp, wax stamp, kind of come to life. I love the deco color paint pens like this one. They are super perfect for putting on a little bit of metallic to a wax seal. Sometimes the elegant ones are the kind of more simple ones, but that is really pretty. It is a BetterPress image on BetterPress paper, so it is giving off that dimension, and it is a simple but beautiful one. All right, this one is a bit of a modern take on Christmas, so bear with me if you are more of a traditional Christmas gal, if you're a traditional Christmas person. But anywho, we have this embossing folder from the Sealed for Christmas collection. I love the deboss side of this one. I glued it on upside down, if you will, and use the deboss side just kind of for some interest. It definitely gives me Christmas sweater looks. And then I glimmered these two pieces right here with the glimmer plate, and of course die cut it out with my favorite oval dies, which are the Essential Modern ovals. And then I have my little place here to rest that on. Isn't that pretty? I love the green glimmered. I love the green foil there. All right, we're gonna pop this on right onto the card as it is. I kind of played around with some different measurements on the background for the layers here, so that happened. We're just not going to talk about it. I had a fight with my paper cutter. And we're just going to say we agree to disagree. My paper cutter that is tried and true is this one from We Are Memory Keepers. And I think I just need my blade sharpened. I don't know. If you've ever done that, let me know in the comments. I haven't asked my husband yet if he could do it. I feel like he could. I feel like he can like fix anything. It's just kind of an endearing feeling to know you have a handy person nearby. And I grew up with my dad always being the handyman, so I appreciate the fact that he can fix it, and maybe he can sharpen my paper trimmer. We certainly have a ton of tools in that garage out there, so I'm sure that maybe he can help with that. He just sharpened all of the knives in our kitchen, which is so awesome. He was cutting up a peach and he realized how dull the knives were getting, and so he just took upon himself to sharpen everything up, and now they're good to go for our cooking. both of us love cooking, so we definitely appreciate a sharp knife. Now, these stars are just kind of telling me, hey, we need an embellishment in the middle of us, so I'm going to pop on a gem. I'm going to use some of these. They're for nails. No, I don't do my own nails. Could I? Probably, but I love crafting way better. So we're going to do that. Oh, and I was a bit heavy-handed with my gluing. So let's just take some off. If you ever do this, here's a way to fix it. Grab a scrap paper or an old Post-it note like this, and you just kind of lift it off. Kind of like when you're painting, if you're an acrylic painter, like sometimes I am, you can dab it with a spoon and kind of lift kind of like that. I have so much glue on my hands. I cannot wait to go wash up here after this, but glue. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay. I just did that thing that Hallmark does. I don't know if you watch Hallmark movies, or I don't know. I notice it with Hallmark more. But, oh, I didn't talk about this poinsettia. By the way, this poinsettia I fussy cut out from a Glimmered plate. And I will link that Glimmer in that Glimmer plate in the description. But I just thought it was kind of fun to do a lime green Christmas card. I digress. When watching Hallmark movies, whenever they eat anything, they always react before they actually eat it. So they'll put it in their mouth and they'll be like, oh, so good, so yummy, or delicious, oh, so good. And it's like a half an inch from their mouth still. I don't know. I notice it a lot. My husband and I think it is hilarious, and just, I don't know. Okay. Wow, I've gotten on such a tangent. Okay, with this card, I used the Glimmer plate by Susan Tierney Coburn. I just learned her name is Coburn. You're supposed to pronounce it that way, not Cockburn, even though that's how it's spelled. Anyway, this is her Glimmer plate from her Winter Bow collection. And I glimmered this with the matte gold foil. So that is super pretty. And of course I used an oval, because in my crafting, if I'm not using that oval die, I don't know. And cut it out. There we have it. And with that gold mirror cardstock, that gold foil just looks so good. Then I went to my kind of Christmas stash, if you will, my sentiments. And I found this sentiment that was from, I think, July's Stamp and Die. And I already had it stamped, and if you can see, it's embossed with some clear embossing powder, and then it's die cut with this interesting shape, and this was already foiled. And I'm going to pair these together and get a really interesting little card here. Sadly, we have to cover up some of the glimmer, but such is life. So I'm going to stick this kind of over here, and this is kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge of a card, but in a good way, in a planned way. And I really just leaned into the black and the white and the gold for this, and just kind of made it coordinate as best as possible. And I think the sentiments word-wise really go well together, and that just kind of makes my heart happy. Then this little wax seal I have here, I'm going to pop it on to my card. I kind of plan to have it over here, and I think that's what we're going to go with. I did the wax seal in gold on this one, and I don't have a black metallic paint pen, but what I do but what I do have a lot of is black Sharpies. So I went ahead with a regular tipped Sharpie and just colored black on the raised pieces of the wax seal. At first I tried with the thin tip which is this one, but it was almost too thin. So I just would recommend using the regular size one if you're going to try it out. Then I wanted to pop on a teeny little poinsettia here from the Sealed for Christmas die set. I'm going to put the dark one on first. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was just such an interesting moment. I do try to leave some of these oopses in because, you know, I try to keep it real on my channel, and I am not a perfect crafter. I don't know of any perfect crafters out there, and I know when I first started crafting, I kind of was like, wow, these people are making these cards and they're so beautiful, and I don't think I could ever know how to design a card or design a stamp set or a die set, whatever it is. And don't be intimidated by what you see online. Just try out things, and all of a sudden it just kind of starts getting easier. But I think that just is like anything. It comes with time. You don't start life just running. You know, you gotta build your muscles and then start crawling, and then all of a sudden you're walking. So just like anything else, you gotta take time to learn how to do things. Okay, a little bit of a chat there, but I do have 3 more cards to show you. So this one, I was just playing around in my craft room and I wanted to do a blingy card, and I love this card. I just love the way the embossing folder works here with the silver mirror cardstock. I love my wax seal because it has different colors in there. It has pink and red and purple. I love my BetterPress image here. When I switched using some different inks on there, that was the first time I had used 2 different colors when I BetterPressed. I love these blingy gems from the Damask Daydream card kit of the month that I got a long time ago. I just love this card. This is gorgeous to me. Plus, Joy to the World is one of my favorite Christmas songs. And when I was making these cards and a few more that have the sentiment Joy to the World, I was humming that and whistling it in my craft room, which also made me super happy. This card was really fun to BetterPress. I used the Peace on Earth BetterPress, and then I used some watercolors and just made the background kind of this dreamy blue, magenta, purple loveliness, and just kept it very soft on the background there. And then I used this wax seal, which is the same one that I used here, again with Sharpie, and then I took some glitter and white twine and just made a little bit of a sealed moment there. And then this last one is kind of fun to me because it was kind of a joke between my husband and I that I saved his life the day I made this card, which I don't know, I think he's just being kind of generous. But what happened was I was watercoloring the background and I was going for something like this, but all of a sudden he came in the house and he said, "I need your help in the garage. Can you help me?" And I was like, well, I'm watercoloring, but it sounds like an emergency. So I did. I came outside and he was moving this ridiculously large thing, and he basically just wanted to make sure that it didn't squish him. But he moved it and he didn't really need my help, but he just wanted to make sure I was around if it did squish him, that I could call 911. So super dramatically, of course, I call this the card that saved my husband's life. Because when I came back, the water had sat on this card and it made this design that looks like frozen ice, and I love it. So thanks to my sweet husband for calling me out to the garage and making this card happen. But I did BetterPress this tree on before I watercolored, which again was a learning moment because I learned that in the future I will watercolor and then BetterPress, because the black ink definitely gets lost behind some of this watercolor, but it still is a really pretty card. And then I added all these teeny little gems on to make the tree kind of come to life. And then I have the wax seal that says joy to the world. So yay, Andrew, for helping me collaborate on this card, if you will. I would love to know your favorite card in the description. I think I have a tie. I think my two favorites are these two, just because of all the things that they've got going on with them. But of course, you know, the card that saved my husband's life probably is a favorite as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you're interested, tomorrow I'm going to pop up a video about BetterPress and their new release. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can go ahead and check out that video tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow, and happy crafting. Bye.